Thank you all for joining us again for our final match of day one at the Puerto Rico Convention Center in San Juan. For our next match from the Medalla Light Puerto Rico Open, we have a great matchup here for you as Margaret Fefilova from Belarus will be taking on Emily Duddy from the USA. The referee is Dwayne Payne and the commentators for this match are Jim Wych and myself, Tim de Ruyter. How are you today, Jim?
Happy to be alongside you, Tim. Front and center, best seat in the house. Yeah. Enjoying all this Puerto Rican hospitality.
So we have Margaret Fefilova here. She won the leg, so she's starting in the first rack. We're playing 2 races to 4, and if both players win 1 set each, we'll go to a deciding shootout. Playing Pro Billiards Series rules, that means we have early 10 balls are allowed, as long as you call them, just not on the break. And we're having a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per player each rack. So, like I said, a pretty good matchup here. For Fefilova on the tour for a long time now. I think I've known her for 8 years. It's also the last time she played the European Championships. She won the European 9-ball Championships and qualified for the World Games. But then unfortunately couldn't play. But she'll be chasing a big win in this tournament right here.
Well, I've heard an awful lot about the shootout. Haven't seen it yet. This is my 4th match, so at some point I'm told I'll be in for a treat.
Yeah, it's a very nerve-wracking situation for the players. It's a lot of pressure, but yeah, some of them like it and some of them don't. That's always how it works.
That was a good open shot from Emily there. Nicely controlling the cue ball back onto the 2. It was just a little bit of a lax safety effort from Margaret, and that's allowed Emily the chance. And I think it's also fair to say, Tim, at this level right now, opportunities like this, you've got to take them home.
Yeah, and especially if you look at how the balls are spread right now, there's not really much more to do as the 6, 7, 8 are all connected. She might have got a little bit too straight on the 5, so she might have to cheat the pocket a little bit to get closer to the 6. So she left herself a little angle. We'll have to play this with a little bit of right spin. It's either left or right spin. I think I would go with right and go to the short side for the 7 in the bottom right corner. Or in the side, of course, like the original plan. So now it's important to get some angle on the 8 to come back down for the 9 ball. Probably just stun the cue ball out, 2 or 3 balls.
Being left-handed, she's perfect. She'll be able to reach this comfortably.
And you can easily go 2 rails. Always go 2 rails on this shot just because you can go straight towards that 9 ball. Guaranteed to get on the 9, but she's missed the 8.
Yeah, that's a let off, and she knows that. Margaret, I think, fair to say, prohibitive favorite in this match too.
Yeah, I know Emily Duddy has been on the tour for a long time. She obviously has had good results, just never really at the world-class players. So I think, yeah, and Fefilova from when she was young, she was already like always chasing to compete with them. And just as I said that, she's missed the 8. So a little nervy start for both players. Not feeling too great yet.
Always the early racks. You got to iron out the nerves, get used to the conditions. They both had a chance to hit some balls on the table prior to this match kicking off, but it's never the same.
Well, and also, it also really changes the players when they walk into the arena. The arena really creates a different feeling to where now they start feeling nerves and they think they can miss shots because there's people watching, and it's big, and all these cameras, and it adds pressure. Well, she played at a good speed. Missed it on the pro side. Left it long and tough. Of course, would have liked to make the 8. So I think she might still have to go for this cut.
Yeah, I think she thinks you're right.
Called the extension.
Yeah, you see the name of Steyer on the back of her shirt. Recently married to an American professional, Tyler Steyer. What a formidable pair they make. I'm betting their kids will be pool players.
There is a big chance that will happen, yeah. Oh, and she did move a little bit. She kind of got up with her body on that. So now I'm curious to see what Emily is going to play on this 8, because I don't like to attack on this 8. I think I will probably overcut the ball, the 8 ball, leave it on the short rail and bring the cue ball just back down. Thing is, if you miss this 8, you're most likely to sell out. So it's either you go for it and you take. Well, she did try to play the safe and she got fortunate with that double kiss.
Yeah, a little bit of a nervy start, but as we said, it's the first rack. And both players will settle into this.
I might go for the bank here. She's playing safe. Is she banking the 8 over between? No. Oh, that bump on the 10 ball. I think that worked out pretty good for her. Might have left a little edge of the 8. Looks like it. Can she still make it? Oh, she could. Now, how does she get on that 9? Not straight, but not one of the toughest shots. If you make the 8, you're pretty favorite to make this 9.
Yeah, that was a great 8 that she made, and fully deserving.
So Emily Duddy to take the first game here.
Yeah, and that'll put her confidence in good stead as this match progresses too, Tim. That was a good 8.
Yeah, and I've been around like these Pro Billiards series for a little while now, and haven't really seen Emily play that many of those events. I think the first time she tried playing those was the one in Michigan, like 2-3 months ago. So it might also be a pretty new, refreshing experience for her playing in this kind of arena and setting. It's very different.
Well, it's one of the nicer venues I've seen in a long, long time. I've attended a lot of top class Q Sport events, and this is about as nice as it gets. There's not much that's been left astray here. I mean, from the conditions to the environment, it's got sponsorship, it's promoted, it's got all the talent that you'd want.
Yeah, just look at this arena with the lights, just so bright and colorful, Puerto Rico style. So Emily Duddy to break in the second rack, breaking from the rail, something we don't really see many times in this format. Came up dry. Not the most square hits, almost scratching the sides. One of the reasons why not all the bars really started moving.
Yeah, she's nominated the push out.
She pushing out to another jump maybe. Shows that she's feeling confident with the jump cue. I don't see Emily jumping this. Oh. Okay, so she's not jumping. She's going real first. Thing I have with real first is if she hits the 1, the cue ball will run towards the 6. Oh, and she made. Oh, she didn't want to call it in the other one, and well, this is trouble. She didn't nominate that corner, so that means Margaret had the chance to either give it back or shoot herself.
Yeah, it's kind of worked against her, hasn't it? Fluking that one. Now kicking at the 2.
I like to kick this with some. Oh. I was going to say with quite some speed, because she was going to send the 2 to a very open space on the table.
Start the clock, please.
And it's tough, especially with the new sliding conditions. It's very obvious actually that she missed it short, just because the spin doesn't grab that much.
Doesn't have to move the cue ball around too much, Tim. Not yet anyway. I mean, everything's in the open. Got a possibility of a 5-7 combination in the bottom. Just depends how she lands on the 4.
Yeah, that 5-7 could be a little difficult though. Needs to really get straight on the 5 to have it nicely. If she can get straight on the 4, which she did not. So now she might have to take her tougher shot on the 5, travel in between the rail and the 8, and shoot the 5 in the top corners.
Yeah, that's not a bad option actually, following through and getting the cue ball below the 5. She's got the angle to do that here.
Maybe possible to run into the 8 if she can do that. She hit a little soft though. Oh, and that might be just enough. Looks like she just got there. Overcut the ball a little bit. Oh.
Yeah, she's thrown another chance away. Margaret's going to have to get that sorted. We're fortunate she hasn't left Emily anything easy, if anything at all. Emily just kicking at this again, so Margaret very lucky after that miss on the 5.
Well, Emily does have a big pocket with that 7 ball though, so if she can send the 5 ball towards the 7, there's a big chance of, well, in this case scratching the cue ball, but in the other cases she could have made the 5 and the 10 ball spots back up. We see she hit it from the back, scratch then off the 7. So the 10 ball got spotted back up on the table, and now this layout looks pretty promising to me.
Yeah, you really can't see Margaret failing now. She's had a couple bites of the cherry in this one, so I mean, at this stage now, even she knows she's got to get out.
Yeah, she straight on the 6 ball now, just needs to replace the cue ball with the 6 basically. Oh, she went the other direction. She probably was scared to make the 7 and run into the 8, so that's why she played this. This is a little sensitive, so she has to spin the cue ball probably with a lot of left. Back to the center of the table. She plays it just top spin, she might end up real far from the 8. She just played it top spin, so a longer 8 ball. We've seen her miss this particular shot in the first rack. So wondering if she can get a little bit more feeling going on in her stroke on this. way better now and nicely on the 9.
Yeah, cued that one nice. Her head stayed nice and still.
Yeah, I was surprised last rack where she moved the ball. She missed and she moved a little bit on the shot, because usually she doesn't really move much. Like, it's just that arm going. Oh, and got a little short on the 10. Still high percentage 10 ball to level the score 1 each. Oh. And she doesn't want to give Emily too many opportunities like that.
Yeah, you can color me surprised she missed that one. She looked like she was starting to get a good feel for the conditions out there, and big 10 in this one for Emily. Help Margaret remember that miss. And she did just that, burned that one into Fefilova's memory banks.
Yeah, and Margaret is leaving the arena here. She wants to clear her mind and get back to the table. And we'll go for a short break. We'll be right back when Margaret will be back. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Medalla Light Puerto Rico Open here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Well, we are currently waiting on Margaret Fefilova to come back, as she just took a timeout. Didn't have the best of a start here. She's down 2-0 against Emily Duddy.
Yeah, I don't think that was the worst break that Margaret's ever taken. She's had chances to win both of the first 2 racks, and it's been more a case of what she hasn't done than what Emily has done. So probably quick to the washroom, just wash your hands, wash your face, give yourself a little talking to, and then hit the reset button.
Yeah, that's for sure. And if you just look at this nice venue here, we have 20 Predator 9-foot tables, and then in the back we have the CSI Caribbean Expo with 24 7-foot Apex Predator tables. And this place is going to have a lot of people during these 2 weeks.
It's got a lot of people right now, Tim.
On day one it's pretty good. Usually on day one it's quite empty, but not here.
It really is an awesome venue. I mean, it's a great place to host a pool tournament. Now the climate is fantastic. The hotel they've got us all in as nice as it gets. Food's great. What more do you want? You got the pool happening. Yeah, this is definitely going to become a destination point. It's going to be on the radar of every pool player for years to come.
Yeah, this is the table, the Predator Apex table, and we're getting ready. Margaret is back. Dwayne Payne gives the cue ball over to Emily, and she's ready to break 2. Rack number 3. Breaking from the rail again. Needs some more square hits than last time. I felt like she didn't hit it really square. Nicer hit. Look at the 3. Just came a little bit too high.
Well, not even the men are making many balls off the break. 10 ball, very difficult.
I mean, if you look at it, all the balls kind of reacted the same way, like they usually do. It's just you gotta really get that right speed down, the right hit. It's a combination of all kind of stuff. It's not just if you pop the cue ball, you'll make 3 balls guaranteed anymore. I'm happy to see that. I've seen it too much in my life. So no open shot on the 1 for Margaret. It's probably thinning the 1 ball towards the 6 and getting the cue ball behind the 10-7. Caught that a little thick, and well, she's left Emily a chance here. 1-2 combination. I think if she plays this, if she plays a stop shot on the 1 and she plays it not too firm, I think she can move the 1 ball over to the corner pocket just a little bit for her next shot. Can also decide to roll it. Oh.
No, she went after the combination. That was fraught with danger. And this might be the best chance that Fefilova is going to have to get her back arm oiled and get herself a little bit of table time, work on that flagging confidence.
Yeah, and now with that 2 and the 3 nearby, it'd be nice for Margaret to get going a little bit. Shouldn't be too tough to go from the 3 to the 4. I think if she can get nicely from the 4 to the 5, then the balls are okay. But I've said that before, and we really need Margaret to settle down a little bit. Oh, she doesn't want to get behind the 6. That might be just enough, but that was a sweater.
Yeah,
oh,
that
is
6
it enough?
shouldn't even been in the equation in that shot, really. She really mishit that one.
Yeah, so looks like she can make it, and if she just drops it in, she'll have to draw the cue ball out. So that's, she's got really straight on this 4, so we'll see a quite long draw shot, hopefully in between the 10 and the 6. She's got a small mini angle towards the 10 though, so if she mishit where she makes the 4 ball in the pocket, she might run into the 10. No, she did nicely.
Yeah, there's where she wants to be. She's showing you with her cue right now. So again, draw this back just to leave a nice angle on the 6 to drop below the 10 for the 7. So just drop back about 12 to 14 inches. Right where she was holding the cue.
Yeah, so just stun over the cue ball just to get past the 10. You don't want to go too low though. You don't want to leave the angle on the 7 that you're gonna have to move up table again. So it's still not just, oh, I'll stun it over there. It's, we gotta be precise on this. Just like that.
Yeah, you just get the feeling, don't you, Tim? She's not going to make any mistakes this time.
Well, it's a little scary to say.
The alarm bells have gone off.
Well, I'm sure she's determined to not make any more mistakes. Still a little bit more angle on that 9-ball than I expected. I thought she was going to play top left and just use the second reel to control the speed a little better. So she will have to make the 9 and stun over to the bottom of the 10 in this view. Which if she plays the right speed, the 9-ball has a big chance to still drop. So favorite to make this. And nice on the 10-ball.
Yeah, a little extra time this time. Still stinging from that missed 10 in the previous rack. Right into the throat of the pocket, so Margaret Fefilova opens her account here. Still the first set. Race to 4, 2 sets, and if they're tied 1-1, we get that elusive shootout that I haven't seen yet.
Oh, I can guarantee you, you will see a couple of them. I'm sure. We might have one here. Really depends though. I think if Margaret keeps struggling like the beginning of this first set, then we might actually have a shootout. If she starts playing like I know that she can play, I think it will be very tough for Emily to beat Margaret.
Yeah, if she finds a gear, I'm not sure Emily can keep up.
So breaking from the side. I know Margaret has been playing quite a couple of those events, especially Tyler has been playing a lot of them. So they really overthought the break and tried to find ways to make the 1 in the side or that 8-ball 4 rails. So, well, in this case she made a ball, the 7, a little lucky, but did not get a shot on the 1. Nice square hit, just that cue ball that got kissed a couple times with a couple balls.
Was actually tracking towards that side pocket and was kissed out of the way, so at least maintaining control of the table. She'll be pushing and the choice will fall to Emily.
So decided to take the 4 out of equation there.
Yeah, she's got to shoot here. There's a wall of colors to drop that cue ball behind.
Yeah, I think I would play this soft though, just to get to the right side of the 2 for the 2 ball in the same corner. So in case you miss the 1, you'll still be okay. You see, this way with the speed, like she's always gonna give a look at the 1. Still came up quite okay, just I think as being completely hooked is better than just leaving distance. She might be able to bank the 1 ball 2 rails back up table where the cue ball is and get the cue ball behind the 3 or the 10. She can choose to run into the 10. Well, she played it the other way. Oh, this is sweet. Just the cue ball needs to stop. But that was a very tough, thin shot on the 1. A lot of players really don't like to shoot this.
You're sitting beside one of them. I need young eyes to play shots like those.
Yeah, she played it near to perfection.
Foul, no contact.
So missed the 1 ball and ball in hand for Fefilova.
Well, she's bought herself another chance. The last one she had with the balls in the open, she got that back arm going. Another opportunity here, and everything is in the clear.
Well, and she played a couple good, like she played a push out, played a good safety, so I think slowly her game is gonna come along. So just one rail up. Doesn't want to leave herself too much angle on the 3. I think it's safe to say that the more straight you get on this 3, the easier the rack will be. Yeah, nice angle. This way she can just float the ball in and be straight on the 5. So this is
6 to the 8, a little tricky. She'll just need a good angle.
Yeah, might be able to just kill the cue ball over 1 diamond to be able to play follow on the 6 ball to come back up for the 8.
I think she likes your thinking.
Oh, has to be careful with that 9 ball. Little loose cue ball, but that worked out, and also has the angle. Now, she was looking to shoot, just roll the 8 ball in and shoot the 9 ball in the other corner. Now I will probably play low right and just shoot the 9 in the side. It's a little preference. Because if you play these really short angles all the time and these really short shots, now when you have to shoot a big stroke, you will not get the feel of it. So you need to make sure your game is ready to do either way of them. But if she plays it simple, who am I to tell her wrong, right?
Different strokes for different folks, Tim. Same pocket inviting the 10, so 2-2 the score. The first 4 racks have been split. Fefilova has seen Mr. Momentum change chairs.
Yeah, I played a good safety shot on that 1. That thin on the 1, get behind the 6. It was a very strong shot from Fefilova. That won her this rack. And I think she slowly getting that feel for the table.
She looks a lot more threatening at the table too than does Emily. I mean, Emily knocked a couple real good balls in the first 2 racks. Got a lot of young fans here in attendance. Staying up pretty late. What time's school here in the morning? Rack number 5. Now deadlocked at 2 apiece. Race to 4.
Oh, almost made the 1 ball, hung up, and nothing else got close.
And she had a quick glance to see if she's left the 1 available for Emily.
Yeah, tough to get on the 2 ball. It's not an easy opener. Might be able to play 2 rails, long rail to go to the right side of the 2. Stun with left. Can't draw the cue ball too much because of the 5. This way she was always going to be quite on the high side of the 2. And I don't think she has a shot on the 2. Well, you can always go crazy cut, but I don't think she's going to do that. I think she will park the cue ball behind 4-7. Top left spin. Yeah, she tried to stun the cue ball behind there and needs to... Oh, and this is risky. In the Pro B series, early 10 balls do count as a win. And leaving that 10 ball hanging over the pocket is most of the time not the best move you can do.
Well, it's very enticing to the incoming player.
Margaret might be just choosing to make a foul and shoot the 10 out, but she's missed the 10.
Contact with 7 first.
Oh, and that is quite big mistake.
Yeah, that'll cost her the rack, and that'll get Emily to the hill. 2-10 combination.
And she was really trying to just get that 10 out of the way so it would not be an early win, and
well, turned out to be an early win.
3-2, Emily Duddy.
A little surprising. I mean, not only the shot selection, but the lack of execution.
And this is the combo that got her on the hill. The billiard bombshell. That's what her shirt says. And she actually has a pretty big social media following too. She used to do a couple TV shows in New York, and that's where she's from, Emily Duddy. And yeah, she told me all about it in Michigan. She's done quite a lot of things for pool.
Well, I've never really had a chance to chat with her. I'm certainly aware of her name and the fact that she's been playing for quite a while. Didn't know she was from New York.
Not sure if she is from New York. I just know she's there right now, so I know she lives there now. So breaking from the side, I think that's a good choice. She doesn't break the balls too crazy, so from the side you can have better results. But she didn't hit him square. Lost the cue ball, and last call for Margaret.
Yeah, there's one available. Cue ball across the bat of the table twice to drop onto the 2 for her if she hits it nice. Just got to avoid contacting the colors on the opposite side.
Yeah, just top spin would be okay. Oh, she caught that a little thick, and
that's why she's behind the 9.
so I like to go 2 rails on this. 2 rails, and if you hit the back of the 2, you'll send it back down table. If you hit 1 rail, I would like to hit it with a lot of speed. Just in case you hit it, you separate the balls. This way, she hit a little bit too soft for me. She was always going to have both the balls in the open with this speed.
Good opening shot from Emily. 3 and 4, nicely placed. Just needs a bit of angle to keep the cue ball in the center of the table to attack the 5.
Yeah, doesn't want to be bridging over the 6.
Yeah, she just overcooked that one a little. She may be slightly hampered. If not, the natural angle is going to take the cue ball towards middle of the table. That's where she needs to be for the 5.
Oh, she overcut it. Yeah, the only thing she had to do is make the 4. She was always going to be okay on the 5. Needs to get behind the 6-5, but again, not a successful safety shot here.
No, again, cueing over a ball, so life isn't going to be easy for Emily.
I think if she makes the 4 and just stops the cue ball there, I think she has enough shot on the 5. Don't want to go do too much. You don't want to force follow or Did she get a little fortunate? No, she's left the 4 on. Now not bridging over the 4. Over the 6 or the 8, sorry. She does have a small angle towards the long rail, so if she rolls the 4 in, she's most likely to end up on the long rail and having to shoot a really tough 5 ball. Now she's going to play stun. Oh, that was sweet. It's a nice stroke.
That might have been the best shot she's hit. And she can't afford any more mistakes. Trailing 3-2. She nailed that one.
Yeah, so soft draw here. Nudged the 6 ball a little bit, but it's still okay. Probably going to play 1 rail. Little draw, little right spin to get back to the center of the table. Ooh, got that a little thin, but still went in.
Margaret trying to force 1 rack to decide the opening set. Got 3 balls she's still got to deposit before we get there.
Yeah, not much more that can go wrong here, just besides missing a ball somewhere. With the 10 hanging over the hole, this should be just a small, you don't really have to get really cute on the 10 ball. You can leave yourself a little longer. It's okay. As long as she can reach it. So this is to go hill in the first set.
Well, hill it is.
This time it goes in.
She'll break. The last rack of the opening set.
And we'll go for a short 1-minute break. Stay tuned for the last rack of this set. Back here at the convention center in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The score is hill in this first set. And we are actually ready for Margaret to break the balls.
And actually Margaret, she was ready to break, and we had to hold her back. Anxious to get at it during the commercial break. We just had to hold her back. We don't want to miss any of this action.
So breaking from the side again. The results has been a little different here and there. Okay. did cut the one ball a little bit too much and made no ball. Still didn't really leave something easy for Emily to start with. I feel that Emily, she's made a couple balls to get on the hill, but she hasn't really been able to get rhythm or flow going on. Might be able to cut this one and play with top left, going in between the 3 and the 8, using 2 rails to go back to the 2. She played safe and she needs to have a little bit more speed to get there. She's left the 1-7 combination on. Now the main thing she has to think about is if she makes the 1-7 combination, what is the 1 going to do? Is it going to run into the 5 and are they going to get together? Or is she going to play with enough speed that they separate after they get together again?
She wants to think about it a little longer. She's just called for the extension. She's looking at the 1-7. You're absolutely right, Tim. It's controlling where that 1 goes. That's the key. You'd expect her to get the 7. Position, that's another story.
Well, she can also choose to play with draw. The 1 ball will come off the 5 and will go, well, she's in no man's land here. She called the bank, just because the 2 ball makes the pocket a lot bigger. Oh, and she hit that really good.
Yeah, straightened it up with a bit of left hand spin as she looks, just to straighten the angle up a little, and boy, she's hit that one great.
She's got perfect on the 2 ball as well, so now she might be able to work herself up to that 4. I think the 4 ball might be the tricky thing, getting from the 3 to the 4. Just because on the right side you got the 4 balls where you can get the hook behind if your speed is not right. And she's also really straight on the 3, so it's not easy to really get to the other side of the 4. Is she going to perfectly draw back the cue ball in between the 4 and the 6, or? That's what I said, this was the risky thing. And I think she might have just got there. And this is, it's on the edge.
Yeah, she's queuing up. She can just get through there. She can count herself a little lucky. But it did show us that she's still feeling it a bit.
Now again, this will really show how well she adapts to the table speed so far in this first set, because this is really easy to get behind the 8 or leave yourself on the rail, on the long rail, which you would like to be off the rail a little bit. I think she did really well. If she has a small angle, she can stun the cue ball out for the 8 in the side or the top right corner. If she's straight, she might have to just stop the cue ball there. No, she can stun the cue ball out. I like that better.
Yeah, she's taking these out well. And also noticeable, she's not sped up at the table. Like if there's any nerve, she's not indicating it. She's controlling it nicely. Well, we said, Tim, you never really try to ignore or let people believe that you're not feeling the pressure. You just embrace it. You know, let it guide you. Heighten your concentration and rise to the occasion.
So this 10 ball to still steal the first set.
And steal she did. Terrific out, that one from Margaret Fefilova. Takes the opening set 4-3. She was put under pressure and responded like a champion.
Yeah, and it looks like Emily Duddy is ready to take a break. So we're gonna take a small break too. Stay tuned for set number 2. And here we are back at the Medalla Light Puerto Rico Open in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We're having 2 tournaments going on here right now. The Medalla Light Puerto Rico Women's Open and the Men's Open. And then on the other side, we have CSI, the Q Sports International, running the CSI Caribbean Expo, which is a great thing. I'm really happy that Predator and CSI brought their stuff together, because it will bring also a lot of people together as well in the same building. A lot of fans. So I see a lot of pro players take pictures and signing cues and doing all tons of stuff. So that's like really cool to see. I think it's good for the sport.
Here's a good friend of mine, Alex Pagulayan, at the table. Arguably one of the best Canadian Q sportsmen we've ever had. He's won the national title in snooker, 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball. 1 year he won it all.
Yeah.
Even a lot of people don't know, he even went over and tried to sign his hand at professional snooker, Tim. Didn't get through the qualifiers, but got an invite by virtue of his play there.
Yeah, he was on the tour a little bit. I followed him and Corey Duell. They both tried to get on there. It was the same period.
That's
Just so tough, because yeah, his technique is obviously really different from the pros, and their finesse on the snooker table is so different than for a pool player finesse. But they still really managed to do really well on the snooker scene.
One of your sponsors.
Yeah,
Predator.
talking about sponsors, why don't we give them a little shout out?
Should we give the sponsors a shout out? Well, certainly, if you're a beer drinker, one of the tastier beers here in Puerto Rico, Medalla Light. One of the sponsors, obviously Predator. We've got the balls, the cloth, Predator Arcadia cloth.
The arena lights.
The Arcos balls.
And the Aero rack. And they got the bridges. And then also we have Rums of Puerto Rico, Discover Puerto Rico, Q Sports International, of course, and our US Pro Billiard Series partners are Seabirds Billiard Supplies, Kamui, Alpha Coin Cryptocurrency, Jam Up Apparel, and Fargo Rate. Thank you all, and make sure you check out our sponsors, because they're very important to us, of course.
And if you do happen to be in the area, come on down to the ballroom here in the convention center in San Juan, because they've got booths set up and they'll show you firsthand. This break from Emily Duddy proving successful, her best break easily.
Yeah,
She's got to look at the 1.
yeah, making 2 balls and having shape on the 1 with a nice angle to go to the 2. It's not a bad start to start this set, and just needs to make sure she has a little angle on the 2. I think she's got just enough to go forward 2 rails.
Well, it was funny when Margaret took her break. She was 2-0 down. Came back and won 3. Well, actually won 4 of the next 5.
Oh, and I'm surprised to see that she didn't play with top spin. She just stunned the ball with spin, and that's tough. Now she got herself in a lot tougher position than she wanted to be in. She's got a mini angle on the 3, but she's bridging over the 4.
Well, I was about to say, let's see what the little break can do for Emily's game. Yeah, she left herself tough there. She knows it. Wasn't so much the miss on that shot. It was a positional shot to it. She's left it pretty easy now for Fefilova to mop up.
Yeah, it's just going to float in this 4 ball, leaving the cue ball along the short rail. Then get back up for the 7 in the top right corner. Shoot this with probably a little bit of right spin inside. No, she didn't play the inside, but that's how she also got a little bit more straight on the 5. But I usually play a little bigger angles. She looks like she plays smaller angles all the time. Nicely done. Nice angle on the 7.
Just needs to float this one in, Tim, and she'll be nicely on the 10.
Yeah, she's left herself a little longer on the 9 than I expected her to do. Also could have got straight on the 9. But she's definitely the favorite to make this. She's not gonna shoot this very hard, just bucket speed. Makes it easier for the ball to slide in if you catch it a little bit thick, and this 10 ball to take the first game in this second set.
Yeah, she buries it. And 1-0. Margaret secures the opener. But Emily, after a good break, she was really in the driver's seat. Just one bad positional shot. She left herself hampered, queuing over the ball, and a little too much to do.
Yeah, and I think the biggest reason for most of the players to miss shots is, like we just seen, they go from the 3 to the 4. Like they get bridging over a ball, or they get stuck on the rail, and that's where they usually start missing balls. If they don't get in these weird positions, I think they will be fine both. Especially Emily has done it quite a couple times now.
Well, Emily's got to stay positive. She's got to believe she's going to get chances. And she's played some good pool here in certain situations. She's got to try and elevate her game and bring it out when she needs it. Sounds like somebody's got a jackhammer here in the venue.
Well, I wouldn't recommend to hit balls with that, but sure. Okay, so Back to this break. Pretty forceful break, hit it pretty square. Managed to make the 4, and I think there is a there's a 1-2 combination, which also is really easy to control the 1 ball as it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, she's eyeing it up. You're exactly right. Well, I'm surprised she played it at that speed.
Yeah, especially the speed. And if she would have wanted to play that speed, why did she not bump the 7 on purpose? Yeah, and it's quite a surprising, like the way how she played a combination was really surprising to me.
Yeah,
I didn't even have the words for it.
That was the let off for sure, because the combination playing it a little softer, as you said, maybe commit more to running the cue ball into the 7. Maybe that's what she tried to do, just mishit it. But she hasn't left Emily anything easy. Possible bank if it goes by the 3.
And I think it does. It's just tough to get position on the 3 after, as it doesn't go in the top left corner. So might. Well, if she can stop the cue ball, if I don't know what the angle on the 1 is. If she can stop the cue ball where it is, I'm not sure if she just called the 1 or the 10. I think she was trying to make the 10, and well, there was a big scratch there, so she actually got quite fortunate not to scratch. And she didn't leave a shot. She might have left a 1-7 combination, but it's not straight. Still needs some work to do on this.
Quick look to see how much space there is between the 1 and the 7. Yeah, I think she's called it.
So good opportunity here. Make the 1. Just go 1 reel back up. The 3 in the other side pocket. Secure with a slow down.
Just slightly overhit this.
And she's called the 10 ball.
3-10 combination.
Oh, and she played it rail first on the 10. Quite difficult to do, and I mean, if you look at it, the 10 ball is quite off the rail, so it's pretty tough to make the 10 doing that. And I think she got fortunate after. It's not a horrible result for Emily Duddy.
Not by any stretch. And she's bought herself a gilt-edged opportunity now in the 2nd. Chance to even it up.
Start the clock, please.
Emily would expect to get out here.
She left herself a little more angle on the 5 than I expected her to do. Can still be okay if she plays this really smooth and soft. She can still be able to hold the cue ball. But she doesn't want to run all the way to the 7. Okay, she done pretty good there.
She had a huge pocket with a 10 there.
Now it's to draw the cue ball straight over towards the 7 probably.
Yeah, she'd like to get as straight on the 7 as she can where the 8 is.
But she can also go one. Oh, she called a 10. No. Okay, after she called a 6. I'm happy she called a 6. But
yeah, I'm not too sure.
she called a
Shaking her
10.
head.
She called a 10, and then she says, "No, I'm not gonna shoot a 10." But then she never really checked to like align different to make the ball.
Yeah, I think she was between two minds there, and in the end, never really committed to either. And I might be giving her the benefit of the doubt.
That's a good shot from Margaret. Good speed, I think. Did it just get there? I think it got nice and straight on the 7. Yeah, it's okay. If she floats this in, she will be close to the 8, but she can leave herself that nice small angle again to stun over to the other side. Oh. That's quite some angle on this 8.
Yeah, that's definitely a little more angle than she wanted.
She might have to run into the 9, bump the 9 to get it off the rail. Can she? She might be able with some left spin to still draw the cue ball out to the right side of the 9. Oh, she played the safety. No risks anymore for Margaret. She's just wanting to get this match over with and get to the next round.
Yeah, Emily's got to be happy getting back to the table, though, even facing this.
Yeah, you cannot complain. If you already made 1 or 2 mistakes, you cannot complain after. Like when you still get the chance to get back to the table, you can never complain again. And that's not. It's pretty good.
That's not horrible.
Just, I thought she was gonna go for a little bit more thin contact. Taking the 8 ball all along the rail is quite risky. So, big gut shot coming up. The 8 being on the rail is actually unlucky for Emily. Because with, oh okay, she didn't go for it. I was gonna say with some inside spin, making the 8 is a lot easier. You can just go up and down the rails.
Well, that was a pretty good shot. Good containing shot. Maybe forced Emily to go for the bank. She's called it. Top left corner as we look.
Yeah, and there was unfortunately not the right stroke. She really punched that ball very firm. I think she really didn't have to do that much on the bank. Nice draw shot on the 8.
Yeah, left a nice angle too to get the cue ball away from that left-hand side cushion to attack the 10 if she gets this.
Well, you can also, if you read Margaret's demeanor now, like she's being the really patient one and just doing just enough to get over the finish line. And I just seen Emily in her chair. She doesn't look that that convinced. Like she's not convinced anymore that she's gonna get a big scalp here. Like she's looking a little bit defeated right now.
She probably still feels like she should have won the opening set, and she's not wrong. It's
She is not wrong for sure.
2-0 in the second set to Margaret. Starting to dictate the pace. But there's no prizes for guessing which one of them has the more positive body language right now, too. Emily almost resigned in her chair, and Margaret a little bit more upright, a little bit more positive. And that reflected on the score.
So Margaret breaking from the side again. Had a couple good breaks here and there, nice square hits, and she's made a couple balls here and there, so it would be nice to repeat that. Okay, not that square as she hit him before. Still a lot of movement going on, but didn't make a ball on the break.
It has left Emily nothing. Yeah, I liked her kicking at that, to be honest with you, Tim. It's just played it with a little more pace than I thought, but somebody here won the lottery.
And it looks, I think Alan Rowland from Puerto Rico, I think he just won his match. I think he beat a good friend of mine, Alex Montpellier. That's what it looks like. Big crowds, good to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of commotion going on, and Margaret chose to play the shot while all that cheering was happening. As we said, there's a lot going on here in the ballroom.
Oh, and that's also why I'm saying playing in this kind of setting is so much different than in your own club or your own table at home. Like, I know people that play absolutely great, and when they get into this kind of scene, they play maybe 2 balls under their own speed. It's such a big deal. So she's left another shot for Margaret. She'll be able to cut this in and go, let the cue ball go short rail. Just 2 rails back to the center of the table.
Quick look to see if that 3 goes by the 10 into the corner pocket. Tough to tell from our angle. And the way she's played it, it must go.
Oh, it either goes to the top right, to the top left corner in this view, or she might be able to play a safety behind the 10-9.
Yeah, she's looking a much more confident player than started this match. At one point, she trailed Emily in the opening set 2-0. Since then, she's really been in control.
Yeah, just that 9 ball needs a little work though, as it doesn't go in that top left corner in this view. But might be able to play position for the bank on the 9 ball.
Wisely calling for an extension. She wants to be committed to this shot, know exactly what she's doing, so just taking a little extra time and reassessing the situation and recommitting to the shot. Always important. You know, so often you'll see even the professional golfers, if they're ever distracted, they stand up, especially over a putt, stand up and go through the motions all over again.
Yeah, like I said, just that 9 and the 10 is a little tricky still. So needs the angle to go up the table for the bank on the 9. And just one thing I was looking at, there might be a 9-10 combination in the bottom right corner in case she really doesn't get there. Now she also has angle to run into them, but running into them is a big risk. I like the bank. I think the bank is my favorite. Oh, she decided to run into them, and how did that go
Nice
out?
little billiard to make the 10.
Yeah, I think the billiard is a must play. Most of the time now, in this case, most of the times they hit that a little. Oh, is she cutting the 9? I like the billiard. And if I have a feeling I'm hitting it too thick on the 10, I'm playing it with a lot of left spin. She's cutting the 9. This is thin. Does she bank it? Well, that's certainly a mistake. Not really sure what she was trying to do.
Well, whatever she was trying to do, she's given that one to Emily Duddy. And
So
2-1. So fasten your seatbelts.
we might go to one of those shootouts you've been talking about.
Well, let's see if Emily can take a little from that win. She didn't have to do much, but a win is a win is a win.
Yeah, and we'll also later this week we'll have the World Junior 9-ball Championships here. They will begin on the November 18th. They will have 3 divisions: the boys under 17, the boys under 19, and also girls. And the finals of each division will be live on the Pro Billiards Series Facebook page, and you can watch every table for free at kazoon.com. So make sure you go over there and you subscribe. You make an account, and then you can watch every table for free. Let's go. She almost scratched in the side, but didn't make a ball and hooked Margaret, so not the worst result.
Yeah, speaking of the juniors, the match just prior to this one, how about that 12-year-old Savannah Easton? I mean, she should have taken Kelly Fisher to a shootout. She had a couple chances. And just at 12 years of age, what a bright future she has.
Well, the main thing, just keep enjoying the game and just try to pick up new stuff all the time, you know, trying to refresh the brain with new inspiration and have fun. I think that's especially on that age. So good safety from Emily.
And she's put the 3 up against the 9, so unless that offers a combination, she's taken the 3 out of play.
Well, there might be a kick shot on the 1 and then maybe calling the 10 or the 3-9 combination. But Margaret is kicking along the short drill. Oh, and she's missed the 1. And this could be a possible 1-10 combination too.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Emily go with the 110, given where the 3 is. 2 at the opposite end of the table, so why not?
Start the clock, please.
She's going to be able to put the cue ball right behind the 1 to line it up to that 10. That's exactly what she's doing.
Okay.
I mean, it's tough. There's quite some distance between the 1 and the 10.
Couldn't have gone a lot worse, really. I mean, I guess you could say the one saving grace is she's hidden the 1, but I mean, she's completely opened everything up.
Yeah, that was the main thing not to do, is open that 3-9. But like you said, she still hooked Margaret, so in some kind of way she's still okay. But I actually favor her to make this jump. Oh yeah, that's a good shot.
Me too.
Yeah, it's easy to say after.
shot this one though, but well, how the match has changed complexion. Emily could well have been 2-2 and should have been breaking.
Oh, needs to be careful. Well, I think she might have a go here at the 3-10 combination. She can even play it the way that if she doesn't make it, she leaves the cue ball stuck with the 9. A little two-way action. I mean, you can do either way. You can just 100% go for it, or... Oh, she's running out. Okay. Just going to the 5 ball might be a little tricky. You have to play this 4 ball with top right. Going for the 5 ball in the top right corner in this view. Here, the bottom right. I think that's the best option. Needs another good shot on the 6. Would have liked to be a little bit more straight. So probably going to use the left long rail to come back down. Well, she struck that nice. Good speed, and now probably she's just going to make the 7, float over to the other side of the 8 for the 8 in the top center bucket in this view.
Still got to be a little guarded. She won't care what side of the 9 she's on because the 9-10 combination looked pretty easy. And if this is straight, she'll have no choice but to play it.
Yeah, and I think she got straight, so she'll play the 9-10 combination, but shouldn't be too tough if you can get as straight as possible on that 9.
Well, could have been a bit further with the cue ball, made this a little easier. So there's distance between this 9 and 10.
Yeah, this is certainly missable. But it goes in, and she's on the hill. Margaret Fefilova is up 3-1 over Emily Duddy.
Yeah, it'll break for the match. What could have been combination to the 10 that Emily missed to be 2-2 and breaking.
And we'll go for a short break, and we'll be right back with the remainder of this set.
Ready to break?
And we are back. Medalla Light Puerto Rico Open. Margaret Fefilovas leading one set and 3-1 in the second set over Emily Duddy. She's about to break on the hill. Ooh. Makes a 2-ball. And how is she ending up on the 1? I don't think she has a shot on the 1, but a quite easy safety on the 1 to play. Just rolling the cue ball up behind the 8.
Yeah, you're not gonna fancy Emily Duddy's shot when she comes to the table, that's for certain. As you said, a straightforward snooker behind the 8. Well, she possible bank. And why not? She can play position to the 3. No point in just keeping that door ajar. You might as well put your shoulder to it. That's the philosophy that's being employed by Margaret Fefilova.
Attention, please.
And you know, Tim, as she looks at the balls now, everything's in the open. This is a great opportunity for Margaret to put this one to bed.
To seal the deal. So she left a little angle to the center of the table though. Would have liked to be a little bit more straight on the 5, so she's playing top spin here using the left long rail to come back to get a little bit more straight.
Just a little short of what would have been ideal position.
Yeah, I would have liked to be a lot more straight on this 5. She'll have to probably play 2 rails. Oh, and she's on the 5. So important for Emily to get on the high side of the 6, not on the low side, because she wants to have the angle going towards the 7. I think I might just draw back straight, as the 5 ball is still a little bit glued on the long rail. She decided to take it on in the side pocket. But that's a tough shot from here.
Emily, one of the few players still using a traditional wooden cue.
Yeah, called her extension. Pretty nervy shot this, not easy. Stopping the cue ball could be enough, but if it rolls a little bit too much forward, then the cut on the 7 is tough. So I would like to draw back maybe a ball or 2. She's missed the 6 and
she's left it.
Yeah, just some traveling to do for Margaret, making, if she cuts the 6, I'm not sure how she's gonna get on the 7. Oh, she tried to hold a cue ball, and I'm not sure if that was possible. That was tough. So I think this will be the last call for Emily. She needs to run this out to stay in this set and this match. Okay, going 2 rails, nice, towards the 8 ball. Left herself a little longer, but that's okay. Now she can choose to play this with a little inside, little right spin, or just to play with stun to go 2 rails to the center of the table. His preference. She play it with inside. Inside definitely easier on an older cloth. The newer cloth, it's tough to judge sometimes how much it's going to bend. Ooh, and that 9 ball did not want to go in that easy.
No, just got to stay still on this one. Yeah, you know what? I just knew she was nervy on that one. I could tell just the way that she approached it. It was almost like she succumbed to the moment, to stay in it. Never easy. She knows it. It was a bad miss. Shame it had to end on that note, but Margaret Fefilova stays unbeaten. She'll stay in the winner's bracket, and Emily, well, she's going to have to fight her way through on the loser's bracket. Well, it was fun, Tim. It's been a long day one, but a lot of action still to come. Another 8 days of play here in San Juan. We're hoping you're going to be joining us for all of it.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for day 2. This was Jim White. Thank you, Jim. My name was Tim de Ruyter, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.